Bonjour, mon petit chiffre, Amber here, and yes, I'm wearing my cowboy hat. Yeehaw! Yes, it is because I couldn't figure out what to do with my hair. And all of my other hats are winter hats. But it works out because it matches, it goes with my Nashville shirt. And I just realized that, pure coincidence. My mom pointed that out. That's not what we're here to talk about. I have been talking about books on this channel for a very long time. A lot of you possibly know I am a series girl. I love finding a new series to obsess over and fall in love with and just let eat away my brain and consume my life. I have read some stellar, spectacular, magnificent series and duologies, and I've also read some series and duologies. I read some arcs and plots and storylines that have gone places that they shouldn't have necessarily gone, or just kind of like fell off and deviated from what made me fall in love with the first book. In true Virgo fashion, I started keeping a list of books that I believe should have been standalones. And I finally have gotten to the point in this list where I feel like I can share it with you. So that's what we're gonna do today. I've got my little notebook where I have, nope, that's the wrong video. Where I have gathered all my little thoughts about all these little books. And I just figured we could quickly go through a few series, duologies, whatnot that should have just been one book. So the first book is really the one that set this whole thing into motion. It pains me to say it's Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyan, which we know I loved so much. I've never experienced a shift in storytelling, a shift in character work, a shift in craft so jarring, so absolutely jarring. Book one, Girls of Paper and Fire, remains one of my favorite books. It was so vivid and so beautiful. I mean, it was heavy and heartbreaking, but it was also so respectful and mindful of the grief and trauma that was weaved all throughout the story. So therefore, my expectations of book two were so high. They were so high, sky high. Natasha had weaved this impactful story that still had so far to go, so much expansion potential. And then I opened Girls of Storm and Shadow. Is that what that book is called? God knows. It took 2 physical attempts and one eventual audio listen just to say that I got through it, and I still couldn't tell you anything that happens in that book. I don't know. I don't even know if I was there, truthfully. If you told me those books were written by 2 different people, I'd 100% believe you. I'd 100% believe you, so much so that I do not even care to own book 3. I don't know how the story ends. I don't care. I don't want to know. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius. Okay, let's move on. So next is The Crown's Game. And honestly, that's saying a lot because I didn't even like book 1. It just fell sort of flat for me, and sort of flat for me, and I never connected to any of the characters. I gave book 1 like 3 stars. It was just fine. The Crown's Fate. She got 2 stars. She got 2 stars from me. I should have DNF'd it like I wanted to, but you know that I struggle with DNFing books and just being done with them. The only character and relationship that I even vaguely cared about in book 1 was absolutely ruined, absolutely destroyed. And all of my perceptions and opinions kind of shifted. There was just like a whole lot of absolute nothing happening, and it just didn't need to happen. And then I read the first book of the Author's Next series. I don't remember the author's name, I'm so sorry. That was trash as well. So, but I learned, and I did not even attempt to read the second book. All right, let's talk about These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Now, I am These Violent Delights girly. I loved book 1 so much. I adore Juliet and Roma, the Scarlet Gang and the White Flowers, 1920s Shanghai, my boy Marshall, and the whole concept of this monster wreaking havoc through Shanghai. I enjoyed Our Violent Ends. Is that what the book's called? Yes. At least I did after I got through the phobia triggering stuff. I'm gonna leave it at that. But honestly, because of that, I put it down for a very long time, for like a year, and that might have been too long because so when I finished it, I just didn't know how to rate it. I didn't know how to rate it. I didn't know how to like put my thoughts into words or how I really felt at the end of it. I honestly think that some of the elements of Our Violent Ends could have been woven into the end of These Violent Delights, and then it would have given it this like wild, it would have made it this like wild cliffhanger standalone, which still would have been like, would have made sense as an ending. Honestly, I just really hate the detachment lurking through my whole reading experience of that second book. So maybe at some point I will reread it and my thoughts might change, but These Violent Delights could have solidly ended after book 1. Let's talk about The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna just really quickly. I finished book 1, I enjoyed it, and the ending felt like a solid enough ending that I just don't need to know anymore. I'm good, I'm fine. For similar reasons, I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me by Jemison Shea. Is that the author's name? Am I making that up? Anyway, Jameson Shea. Although at some point I may need to pick up the sequel, just my curiosity might get the better of me. But that, once again, book ended. I know enough. I'm satisfied. We move. So honestly, probably most of Elizabeth Lim's books, duologies, should be standalones. I love them, but Spin the Dawn and Six Crimson Cranes are better on their own, and they are both more solid books than their respective sequels. The next two are sort of an honorable mention category, where I still have hope the series might come around at the end. So interestingly, the first one I have is Kingdom of Souls, another where the first book is one of my absolute faves. Love it so much. Reaper of Souls unfortunately fell victim to the sequel. This book was chaotic. It was chaotic, and not like in a fun way. I will say, since starting the planning for this video and making my list, I have finished the series. I did eventually finish the series, and while Master of Souls did come around and tie ends into a relatively satisfying ending, I stand by its placement on this list. Okay, another one that I have hope for that will come around in the end is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Book 1 is everything to me. We know this. Book 1 is absolutely everything to me. I am still obsessed. Rebecca Roanhorse weaves such an impeccable story and such fleshed out, fascinating characters. I think about Serapio and that bath scene frequently. Rebecca Roanhorse has easily established herself as an all-time favorite author with just one book. Book 2 didn't captivate me in the way that I anticipated. There was a lot going on, but too much of the plot revolved around characters I don't care about and hadn't cared about in the slightest. And that being said, it was very evident that we were being set up for the conclusion that is Mirrored Heavens. I've purposely been avoiding anything regarding this book until I'm reading it myself, but I have faith that Rebecca's going to pull it all together. Please pray for me. Last but not least is another sort of honorable mention, and it has just been put on this list, and it's The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I don't think it needed to be a standalone, but it definitely should have ended with The Damned. It definitely should have been a duology. In fact, like I said, it's the most recent addition to this list because I just DNF'd The Ruined. Do you know how rare and difficult it is for me to actually DNF a book. Like fully be done with it. I made it to maybe, did I even make it 60 pages into this book? I don't remember, but I couldn't do it. Duologies are Renee's bag. Writing a good duology can be difficult, but it really is her wheelhouse. I mean, The Wrath and the Dawn will always have my heart. Shazi and Khalid will always have my heart. I don't know what the general consensus is on The Moth and the Flame, but I enjoyed that duology as well. The Beautiful and the Damned were steeped in all of Renee's magic, and then it all fell apart. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed book 3. The shift in the story had a lot of potential, but I would sacrifice it in a heartbeat to avoid the downfall of Celine and Sebastian's story in the Coeur d'Lion of New Orleans. I did, like I said, didn't even make it past 60 pages before I had to give up. No, please. Absolutely not. Take it back. Okay, I made it. I did it. These are my current top books that I think should have remained standalones and would have just sort of like preserved their magic a bit. Like I said, still holding out so much hope for Black Sun. I do not own Mirrored Heavens yet. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared. I know good and well I am going to probably keep this list ongoing. Because unfortunately I probably will continue encountering series that hurt me, disappoint me, let me down. So maybe in the future there will be a part 2. Hopefully, God willing, there won't be a part 2 and everything I just said will not come to pass, and I will just keep reading spectacular series and duologies. But who knows? We can only hope. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you agree or disagree with any of my listings, let me know. We can talk about it in the comments. If you have any series or duologies that aren't listed here that disappointed you, also let me know. Warn a girl, please. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down below so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. I don't know what the general consensus is on, what is that book called? The Moth and the Flame. But I enjoyed the duology. I don't know what the general consensus is on The Moth and the Flame, but I enjoyed that. Father God in heaven. I don't know what the general consensus. But I have a little minty bee.